True Hoop TV, the NBA Finals are tied at 1-1 after the Heat eke out a 2-point victory here in San Antonio. Tom Haberstroh, Jay Adonde. These are two efficient teams, but the Heat won this game with a hero ball. Old-fashioned LeBron James, Dwayne Wade chucking contested two-pointers, and it worked.
Well, at first I thought LeBron James was hell-bent to disprove my story from today in which I said you can't beat the Spurs single-handedly, and he almost did it with 14 points in the third quarter. But it's interesting, in the fourth quarter, he decided to go away from that, went to Bosh for the three, gave it up to Bosh for the driving dish that basically clinched the game. So a mixture of both from LeBron James. You can't say he beat the Spurs on his own, but he sure took the Heat to the brink of beating the Spurs on his own.
This is what everyone rips LeBron James for, is making that pass to Chris Bosh in the Indiana Pacers series. He did it in the Brooklyn Nets series, and Bosh hit the shot. And he does it here, and everyone forgets about it. And that's the thing with LeBron James. When he makes that pass, no one cares if Bosh hits it. And Bosh did, and that was a big-time shot from Chris Bosh and a big-time play to pass to Dwayne Wade at the end.
And you wonder, for all the criticism he takes for that pass in Game 5 against Indiana, and Eric Spoelstra called it theater of the absurd,
yeah.
But you wonder if Bosh is a little bit more ready for the shot tonight because he was just put in that situation a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and he just missed a three-point shot in the corner before, like a minute before that, with the game on the line. And then he didn't even hesitate and drain it. He was open, obviously. But, you know, LeBron James probably won't get talked about tomorrow, that he made the pass with the game on the line when a lot of people think he should just take the shot. And he didn't have any points there in the last couple minutes, no shots made, but that's why he's LeBron James.
Cramps, story of game one. Eric Spoelstra talked about going deeper in his bench, etc., and then totally didn't.
He played James Jones
for 13 seconds or something. Really, only 7 players played more than any significant time for them.
But the key is LeBron only played 37 and a half minutes. He didn't go over 40. I thought Spoelstra did a great job of managing him. I think you pointed out the discrepancy between the on and off with LeBron in the first half, and they were getting killed when he was off the court. They fell behind. But he just got through the second half and got through those minutes when he sat LeBron at the start of the fourth quarter, and then sends LeBron back in for the finish.
Yeah, I think Dwayne Wade had a great, he was anchoring that second unit when LeBron James went to the bench in the second half. He and Chris Bosh did a great job because in the first half they were getting killed with LeBron James off the floor, and that was the same deal in game one. So tip your hat off to Dwayne Wade.
Every game so far, Tim Duncan, huge numbers. He's been unbelievable. Does it win them a game? Is that going to work for them?
Well, you wonder, can he be this superstar that single-handedly does it?
Right.
But that's not the way the Spurs work. They're not built on one guy carrying them to victory. And Greg Popovich was very upset tonight. He was even a little snarky with me. But he was upset just in general, not at my question, but at the fact that the ball wasn't moving in the fourth quarter. He said, you move the ball or you die. They died tonight. Even though the numbers don't look horrendous, they had 26 assists and only 11 turnovers, but he just thought down the stretch it didn't look like the Spurs. And I think LeBron comes into play again because he was guarding Tony Parker there.
Yeah, and amazing job by him because he was battling those cramps, and Eric Spoelstra actually, he gave him that extra rest, and I think it allowed him to guard Tony Parker down the stretch, and that's big because they needed absolutely to contain him. Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole haven't been effective in that role, and LeBron James, how many guys can do that?
Getting back to basics, standing next to LeBron James yesterday, it occurred to me, we forget how big he is, right? I mean, he's a very big man. And that actually was a big factor in this game, right? When both teams went a little smaller, Chris Bosh and Tim Duncan as the bigs on the floor, the Heat effectively have 2 guys who can throw their weight around and make room in the paint. And it made a big difference in the stretch of this game.
Well, not only the physical phenomenon that is LeBron James, and I always marvel, everyone talks about the moment when him and Duncan had that exchange after the Spurs beat them in 2007, but what always stuck out to me is LeBron James is basically eye to eye with Tim Duncan, who's one of the great big men of his time, and LeBron's supposedly a small forward. But tonight, it wasn't just LeBron. I thought they did a great job of boxing out. Big guys, little guys, they did a great job of boxing out the Spurs, and they out-rebounded them by 1, which is a major victory. It might sound small, but the Heat's rebounding woes. The fact that they could out-rebound the Spurs, I thought, is credit to the team-wide boxing out effort, boxing out in this.
It's always tough talking about when the Heat goes small. They're really not that small, right? It's always LeBron James at the 4 or Shane Battier at the 3 or at the 4, whichever. Then you have Chris Bosh, and when you have LeBron James at the 4, he's like the size of David West, right? So it isn't really all that small. It's just in the traditional roles we always think of it small. And he had 10 rebounds in the game tonight, and he was great on the boards. I think 35 and 10 on 64% shooting. The only guy to do that in the last 25 finals is Shaquille O'Neal. So that's how efficient and how big he played in this game.
All right, so we go to Miami. Who's the favorite now?
I still think we haven't heard the last of the Spurs. I could very easily see them getting a split down there. They won one game down there last year. Could have very easily won another one in Game 6. So, this series is far from over. I don't think the Heat have control of the series right now. But I like it because it gets real interesting right now, too. And it gets quieter. I'm happy anytime LeBron is successful because it's a lot quieter than when he has a cramp or when he misses a free throw or a three-pointer.
You know what's crazy, Henry? This could be 2-0, Heat 2-0, or Spurs 2-0.
Sure.
That's how close these games have been. So I just want do we have to have 7? Like, can we have like 17 in these games? Because this is
Sure, it can be arranged.
unbelievable.
Well, we're up to
basketball.
9 now in the last 2 years, and it's just getting better.
I know. It's
This is the
unbelievable
innovation
basketball.
commissioner. We can propose anything. Like,
He's hearing that, yeah.
It's all on the
Exactly,
table.
yeah. All right, Game 3 is on Tuesday. Should be a good one.